Well, that is quite a staggering result for Sheffield United. 5-0 against Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town 21st before proceedings today. An Ipswich Town side who last time out at Portman Road before the international break drew 2-2. Quite luckily in the end, a Jack Clark penalty against Derby County. A Derby County side who went to Portman Road with a plan, were resilient, were good enough to get a point. I cannot believe what I've just seen. I cannot believe what I've just seen. An absolute mauling for an Ipswich Town. I actually thought that Sheffield United started pretty decent in the game. But overall, Ben Godfrey getting an absolute scienter for 90 minutes. Jockeying Jaden Philogene. A lack of engagement. A lack of sort of almost confidence in yourself to be able to go close that space down. Jaden Philogene won with one of the performances of the Championship season so far, a hat-trick, outstanding finishes, especially that left foot rocket, but an abysmal defensive performance by Sheffield United, which was summarised, really, and was conclusively put a lid on the can with that fifth goal, which was just statue-esque defending. Horrendous, absolutely awful from Sheffield United, and you've got to look, for me, at Ruben Selles. And look, overall, you look at Sheffield United right now, this AI model that they've got when it comes to recruitment, but it looks like that's been chucked out the window when you look at the players that they've signed. When it comes to Danny Ings, they're interested in Redmond, they've brought in Ben Mee, they've brought in Tanganga, they've brought in Godfrey. Is that AI? Doesn't feel like that's AI. Doesn't feel like the model of which we were looking at last season when they were bringing in X, Y, and Z player who we'd never heard of. And I understand it encompasses different facets, and maybe an AI model does include those championship recruits that we've all seen, over the years when it's come to me and Godfrey playing at the top level and then going to Atalanta in Serie A. Maybe that is the AI model, but the AI model you feel when you look at it overall is maybe picking gems, out of the maybe South American circuit, the African circuit, the European circuit. But with what I'm seeing with Sheffield United so far, I'm looking at the owners, of course I am, and it's been farcical when it's come to Chris Wilder, them getting rid of him, and just the imprint he has on Sheffield United. I think you cannot get rid of him when he's got 92 points accrued. You just can't. I was looking at Sayers and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? It's not a bad appointment when you look at a young recruit, someone who's never really been given that big chance, but ultimately he's failing, and failing badly, beaten badly by Swansea in a result that didn't show all of Sheffield United's cracks. Millwall being outplayed for multiple stages of that game. Tonight, off the back of an international break, Sheffield United coming back and getting absolutely battered 5-0 to an Ipswich Town side who have struggled this season from open play. This is crisis mode now. Crisis mode for Sheffield United, and the board have to act. Do you go back to Chris Wilder? Do you go back to a guy who is waiting for another job, a guy who has got red and white coursing through his veins? Do you go back and do you play that emotional card? But it's not an emotional card, is it? Because Chris Wilder is an ace card. He is a card of which makes Sheffield United hard to beat, which they were last season. That X factor wasn't quite there, but they were hard to beat. They beat teams by 1 goal. And I just think, I'm looking at them right now and I'm thinking there's no plan, there's no identity, there's no confidence, there's no mentality. The intangibles aren't even sorted. Never mind the plan going into games. I watched them against Swansea, I've watched them against Millwall, I've watched them tonight. They've looked absolutely rudderless. Sheffield United battered on the opening day of the season as well. Gus Hamer on the bench. Justify that. The first shot on target this season in the second half at some point, I believe. It is chaos at Sheffield United. And you look at that team, you look at the deadline day, you look at the players they've brought in. Jaffa Tanganga, I've mentioned it. Ben Godfrey, although you probably wanted to leave him in Ipswich tonight. But throughout the squad, bringing Danny Ings' experience at Championship level, I'm sure Wilder would have taken that. When you're just looking at previous managers, I'm sure Wilder would have been thrilled with bringing someone like that in. Matos from Chelsea, got a very, very good reputation. Keeping hold of the likes of Sidney Peck, Ollie Arblaster coming around the corner. Hopefully for Sheffield United when it comes to an injury return. Positive things on the horizon. Keeping hold of Harrison Burrows. Keeping hold of the brilliant Michael Cooper in net at Championship standard. But then just getting absolutely torn apart. 5 losses on the bounce. I don't think it's acceptable. I don't think it's acceptable. It's got to be the worst start to a second season in the Championship. Bearing in mind, this lot have still got parachute payments. This lot have still got, they've kept Gus Hamer. They've got Callum O'Hare in that side. Andre Brooks looked very good at points last season. Obviously, they've lost Kiefer Moore, but they've still got Tom Cannon. They paid $10 million for Tom Cannon in January. It's a good team. Femi Sariki, right back, who I believe when you put all the compartments together, you get a bit of synergy. Bringing in McGuinness, and you've got me in there. You've got Godfrey. You've got options. Can you fit Femi Sariki in there? You've got Harrison Burrows on the other side as well. Almost wing backs, never mind full backs, more attacking options. But it looks like Sheffield United don't want to get forward. They can't defend. Basic principles in football. Man-for-man marking. Your own standards, your own expectations. I thought it was an abomination tonight. And I really do feel for the Sheffield United fans travelling down there this evening. Ruben Selles has to be sacked. Has to be sacked. And if I'm Sheffield United, I go back to Chris Wilder. I'm going back, tail between my legs, and I'm saying, I am sorry. We are sorry. We know you got 92 points. We thought there'd be some sort of evolution in terms of what we're looking for, even though there was no real need to do this evolution in terms of what we want as a progressive step from Chris Wilder. Why? Just at least let him get you up. Let him have a crack at the Premier League, and then we'll see what's what. This whole plan, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to do. Maybe, I did a video on it right at the very beginning. Maybe they're just looking at a young imprint, a new tactical style. But does it need that? Do you really need that? What's the rationale here? What's the strategy? What's the framework, the idea, the philosophy of the new ownership? You know, I thought at the beginning maybe Ruben Selles with the right artillery is going to be able to really attack this division. They're going to be fitter. You know, in the latter parts of the last season, really, there was 17th when it came to the last 20 minutes of games under Chris Wilder. It's not good enough. That is not good enough. But would that have been harnessed? Sitting back and thinking about it in the second year, it probably would have been, because they were a very fit side when Chris Wilder first came in. But right now, what you're seeing under Ruben Selles, and it is Ruben Selles in Sheffield United now. Mark McGuinness, another one who came in, very good Championship recruit. Nowhere near good enough for Sheffield United. Nowhere near good enough. And I think tonight, Ruben Selles should be sacked. 5 losses on the bounce. You've come back from an international break and you've got absolutely battered by a side who haven't started this season well at all. And their last result, they were lucky to get a result. Not good enough. Sheffield United fans, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Does Ruben Selles need to go tonight? Would you go back for Chrissy Wilder, or would there be someone else? What would you do? Let us know in the comment section below, everybody. An absolutely horrific night for Sheffield United Football Club.